What's up everybody, Brian here. I'm in the Gecko lab and today we're counting down the top 12 Crested Gecko morphs. This is part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1 of this, I recommend you go watch it first, unless you don't care about numbers 12 through 7, and then screw it, let's kick right into it with number 6. My number 6 favorite Crested Gecko morph is an absolute staple of the crested world, and it's responsible for some of the best combos in all of Crested Geckos. I'm talking about lily whites. Lily whites originated from a European breeder called Lily Exotics. That's where the name came from. They were the first to identify and reproduce this morph, and it's absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorites, the lily white gene, creates a bunch of white cream that's just painted all over the gecko. It can vary in the amount and the pattern coverage that it has, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's pure white. It makes the geckos look like they've been just living in a snow globe or something. And you can combine it with other genes to make some of the coolest looking combinations Crested Geckos have ever seen. So going from number 6 lily whites that have all the pattern, we're gonna hit the opposite end of the spectrum. Number 5, I'm going with empty backs. I love empty backs. So this is a mutation that, as the name implies, has an empty dorsal, and in its highest, most refined form, it is a pinstripe where the only color on the gecko is just the tips of the physical pinstripe scales. Ideally, you'll have a completely empty dorsal and completely empty sides, and it just is the most simplistic, cleanest, high contrast gecko possible. I absolutely love these. This is a project that has been near and dear to my heart for about a decade now, and they are truly one of my favorites. I think in a vacuum, this might be the most single stunning crested gecko on the market today. Empty backs at number 5 on my countdown for my favorite Crested Gecko morphs. Moving on to number 4 in the countdown, we're going with Phantom. Now, Phantom was the first recessive gene ever discovered in Crested Geckos, and it's subtle but so beautiful, especially when used in combination with other things. It's most commonly seen in combination with pinstripe, and what the Phantom gene does is it acts like an eraser that mutes out all of the cream and white pattern from the Harlequin gene. So really, it kind of negates the Harlequin gene. Now, the fun part is the physical pattern from the Harlequin gene is still there. You can see where the pattern is, but it's not colored anymore. It doesn't have that cream white highlighter color on it, so it's just subtly there, almost as like a pattern undertone on the gecko. Now, the Phantom gene is really fun when you start to mix it with things like lily white and axanthic. Lily white phantoms are some of the coolest looking geckos around. It really brings out the base color of the gecko, and then you get just a little bit of that lily white pattern on it. I absolutely love them. Phantoms are a ton of fun to play with if you're breeding, and that's why I put them on number 4 on my list for my top Crested Gecko morphs. Hey, really quick, let me ask you guys a question. How would you like this cage right here to be the centerpiece for your living room? Well, with today's sponsor, you could make that happen. This video is sponsored by FreeGeckoGiveaways.com. Free Gecko Giveaways is your one-stop shop for all of your top Crested Gecko diets, caging accessories, merch, like my Chunky Monkey shirt, and more. The best parts are there's free shipping on every order, and every dollar you spend is 1 entry to win our grand prize. Right now, the grand prize is this exact Zen Habitats enclosure. It's a 2x2x2 enclosure. You get the enclosure, the cabinet stand to put it on, everything you see inside here, and a misting system so your geckos stay nice and hydrated. You could make this the entire centerpiece of a beautiful living room. Oh, and the best part, it also comes with $250 to altitudeexotics.com, so you can watch our countdown, pick your favorite morph, and then go buy one to put inside your new cage. With a new grand prize given away every 6 weeks, freegeckogiveaways.com, every purchase gets you entered to win. Head over and check it out. All right, everybody, we're really getting down into it now, into my top 3. These are the 3 that I picked as my favorite Crested Gecko morphs, at least at the time that I made this list, because let's be honest, we all love all these morphs, and it's hard to pick a top couple, top 2, top 3. So this was my mood today. Maybe it will change tomorrow. Maybe in a few months I'll make another list and rearrange them. For now, number 3, I'm going with highlighter. So this is one that's only been identified and really bred with purpose over the last few years. The highlighter gene is very subtle, and I like it best when combined with lily whites. What this gene does is it adds a layer of neon yellow color over the top of the lightest, whitest cream parts of your gecko. That's why it's most commonly seen in combination with lily whites, because that's where it's the most visually apparent. But it does not happen exclusively with lily whites. One of the most famous examples is axanthics. You can get a highlighter axanthics that you then get axanthic geckos with yellow color on them, and axanthics aren't supposed to make yellow color, but it happens because of that highlighter gene. When you put it on an axanthic lily white, it really pops and that neon yellow comes right out. It's such a subtle but beautiful and fun gene to play with. I've really built a few of my favorite breeding projects around this gene in the last couple years, and I'm really excited about it. That's why I chose to put it at number 3 on my list of favorite crested gecko morphs. So we have made it down to the top 2, and these ones were really, really tough. But number 2, I went with a morph that I think is exciting. I think it is unique in a way that no other morph is. I think it is beautiful, which some people don't, I understand, but I really like it, and I'm super excited to start working with it over the next few years, and that is Hypo and the superform Leucistic. Now these come out of Mac Reptiles, so they're referred to as Mac Hypo and Mac Lucies. They're absolutely amazing. So in the single gene copy, it's a hypomelanistic gecko that almost just looks like it's a gecko that's going into shed. They really don't look like anything too spectacular, though when you breed it in the right combinations, it certainly makes a unique looking gecko. The real magic happens when you breed 2 of them together and you get a true leucistic crested gecko. Now we know with lily whites, if you breed 2 lily whites together, you also get leucistic geckos, but those aren't healthy and they almost never hatch alive. When they do, they don't live more than a couple days. The Mac Leucistics are healthy, they're beautiful, they thrive, they grow well, and they are so unique looking. I know a lot of people aren't big on this look, but honestly, I think that's mostly because we've never seen anything like it before in crested geckos. They are so unique. They are pure white and so cool looking. Some of them get this really unique yellow pattern on the tops as well. There's a few other names that these geckos are incorrectly identified as, but they're hypos and leucistics. They originate from Mac Reptiles, and I just think they're the coolest things. I can't wait to see what happens when you breed these in combinations. Like, can you get a leucistic Dalmatian? What do Dalmatian spots look like when they're made leucistic? Are they going to be faded out grayish spots? Are you going to still see them on a white gecko? What about a leucistic empty back? What's a leucistic lily white do? I need to know the answers, and I can't wait to start breeding to find out. All right, everybody, we have made it. Thank you for sticking with me thus far on my list of my favorite 12 crested gecko morphs. We're down to number 1, and any of you who have known me or followed me for any amount of time are not going to be surprised. My number 1 pick is, of course, axanthic. I absolutely love the axanthic morph. I have loved axanthic reptiles since long before I got axanthic crested geckos, and of course this is the morph that has really built my company name, and I've made my name off, and I've gotten the most amount of recognition for, and that's not by accident. I love these guys. So very quickly, axanthic is a mutation that limits the production of yellow and red pigments, leading to a monochrome looking animal, which I think is just so cool. Like it's like holding a photoshopped picture in your hand. They look so wild in real life, and of course you can make some amazing combinations with them. My favorite so far are axanthic pinstripes, which are like a better version of empty backs, if you can imagine that, as well as axanthic lily whites, which of course are just incredible. You can do phantom axanthic lily whites, add that highlighter gene. We're working on axanthic super Dalmatians as well. It's been about 10 years now since I got my hands on the first axanthics, and there's still so much more to do and breed and discover with these. I just love them so much. I love now that so many other people are working with them. I see so many more that I haven't been able to produce yet. It's just such a cool gene. It's one of my favorites. I love monochrome looking animals, and I think it's amazing. I love working with them, and they are easily taking my top spot as my number 1 favorite crested gecko morph. All right, gecko family, that's it. We're done. That's the whole list. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you spending some of your time with me, and I want your thoughts. Leave me comments down below. Let me know, did I get it right? in your opinion, or does your opinion differ from mine? That's one of my favorite things in the world, is when people have different opinions and we can talk about it. So let me know down below, what morphs do you think are the best? What's your top 3, top 5, heck, your top 12? What morphs are not on my list that you think should have been? What's your number 1? I want to know all of it. Leave me comments down below and tell me. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. As always, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.